Let's talk about something that's going on right now. Iron and Diamonds, released in April, just recently. Talk to me about that.
Well, it's our fourth record on Sugar Hill, and I guess we worked on it last fall. We recorded it in October and finished it up in November, and we're excited about it. Getting a lot of eager fans of the Gibson brothers. They've been waiting a couple of years for a record, and I'm pretty happy that it's out.
All right, talk to me about the songs. You have 7 new songs on there written by you two.
Yep.
Talk to me about those songs, and then we'll talk about some of the songs you got from the other artists that were, I can't believe some of the artists you put songs from, but go ahead, we'll talk about that. Talk about 7 of them.
The title track is called Iron and Diamonds, yes. And it's about a mining community in the northern Adirondacks up where we're from. Yes. And it's about a town that had a lot of great local baseball players raised in it, and they're hardworking people, and I guess it was sort of an inspiration. We grew up hearing about them, and then we played baseball after high school with a lot of these guys, and so I wrote a song about it, and Eric wrote, I'd say of the 7 songs, Eric probably wrote a majority of 6 of them. So
okay,
I took the lighter load this time.
And the word iron refers to the
iron ore. They're miners of iron ore.
Exactly.
Yep.
And a diamond goes to the baseball.
Yep.
I read that.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. The iron ore, the metal from that town or that mountain is in. I've heard is in the George Washington Bridge, the Golden Gate. It was the highest concentrated iron, best quality iron in the country. Just got too expensive to pull it out of the ground.
But there's a lot of it left, I guess.
Oh, there's still iron up there.
It's still going. Talk to me about some of the other songs on there. One Step Closer.
Yeah, that's a song I wrote. It's kind of a gospel number that I wrote. One Step Closer to the Grave, and Picker's Blues. We wrote that together. That's another one that the audiences are seeming to like quite a bit when we play it.
Now, these songs that you write that are on this album, did you road test them out there before you put them on an album, or did you just write them and put them on an album?
A few of them we did road test a little bit, like the title track we played a few times. Several of them we never road tested.
This record's a little different because typically we get a bunch of songs together and then we record them. This is one of the first times we actually said, well, what do you want to record, and not bring them out on the road. It was kind of different, and to me that's a little more exciting sometimes because it's maybe a little more nerve-wracking the first couple of shows where you're doing your new record, and you're like, wait, how did that go? 'Cause,
but they never heard of it either.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So it might take the audience a little longer to warm up to it once in a while, but once they buy the record and hear it, they typically the next show in they'll
be requesting those.
Yeah, they ask for the new ones. So
now, where do you get your ideas for the Iron and Diamonds? We know where do you get your idea for the Grave song and
you know that
and Picker Blues is
Picker's Blues is pretty self-explanatory.
Life on the road.
Yeah, pretty much. But the One Step Closer to the Grave, I don't remember writing it. I have this notebook full of song ideas and stuff, and I found that. I know I wrote it.
Oh, you found my notebook.
Oh, it's my notebook. But I know, and Mike Barber, our bass player, claims that I had called him and I had sung that to him months before, but I don't remember it. Okay. I don't remember writing the words down, but anyway, that's just we grew up going to church and stuff, and I have strong feelings, and so I guess that's where that song comes from.
Well, if I remember reading, the minister put you guys to work as singers as young kids.
Yeah,
wasn't that the suggestion? How you guys got started singing?
Yeah, he said
about church.
We used to go and just pick the banjo and the guitar at church, and he'd announce in the morning. He'd say, "Well, for Sunday evening service, the Gibson boys will be there," and we knew we were coming to church on Sunday night.
He was announcing ahead of time without us knowing.
So you went back to church though.
We had to.
You had to go back and perform. How old were you guys when you were doing all that? Back in the church days?
14, 15.
14, 15, okay.
Probably.
Now, what made you pick up a banjo and what made you pick up a guitar?
My father and mother both loved music, and neither of them could play, but Dad would get an idea that maybe he'd want to learn how to play something, so he'd pick up an instrument at an auction or order something from Sears.
They didn't play, though?
No, but they were around the house. The instruments were around the house under beds or whatever. And, there was a local fellow giving lessons at a Dick's Country Store, which is a real great music store up home. And we came home from school, and Dad said one of you is going to learn to play banjo, one's going to learn to play guitar, and choose.
That's it.
Luckily, we took to it. We liked it. We liked it immediately.
Yeah.
And we had a real good teacher. Eric O'Hara was his name, and he was a young fella and just totally patient with us.
We became like Roy Clark and Buck Owens. And I got to be Buck Owens.
Singing and grinning, huh?
Yeah.
There you go. Let's go back to the album. We got a little. You picked some of the cover songs by Tom Petty, Steve Earle, Roger Miller, Julie Miller, and Bill Carlisle. Which one was by Bill Carlisle?
Gone Home, the gospel song.
Okay. Why'd you pick that?
Because I always loved that song.
Yeah.
That's one that we heard, on Hee Haw Gospel Quartet growing up, and it was always one of those songs that our family kind of held in high regard. Where when you get together and at a family gathering, let's do that Gone Home song, or right here, Dad or Mom singing it. And every time we do an album, there's a song on there that we'll put on. I don't care if anybody else likes it, but Mom and Dad.
There you go.
I don't care. The other 11 or 12 are for us and everybody else, but that's a special one for us.
Tom Petty. How'd you make a Tom Petty song in bluegrass?
I love Tom Petty. I
Good.
think he's a roots artist.
Cabin Down Below.
Yeah, and but that one wasn't probably as likely a choice as some of his other songs that he's recorded. But we were just fooling around with the song at a show, before a show one day, and all the guys got twinkles in their eyes. This is fun, and if it's fun for us, it's probably fun for the audience.
How about Roger Miller? Which one's Roger Miller?
Yeah, Roger. I hadn't heard Roger Miller's version until after we recorded it. Fair and Young cut it.
A World So Full of Love.
Yeah, World So Full of Love, and I had a Fair and Young box set that Bear Family had put out a few years ago, and I loved it. And then I was reading the liner notes when the song interested me, so I looked at it and saw that Roger Miller had cut it, and I think it's kind of a classic country song.
I want to make mention also that Iron and Diamonds, you use your touring band to record it, and you use one microphone for your duet parts.
For the vocals,
for the
exactly.
Now, why did you choose to do one microphone and your touring band? We'll make mention to them, too. I got all their...
We decided that we felt like we could get more sizzle, a tighter vocal, get a better blend if we were looking at each other. Because there's something, not that I don't think we had bad vocals on the other records, but Mike mentioned it, and we recognized it as well, that there's something live, there's a blend live when we're next to each other singing that you don't get if I sing the lead part or Eric sings the lead part and then the other one comes in and sings the harmony afterward.
Right.
And so we're about this far apart looking at one another, singing into a dual capsule microphone. And that's the way the Everly Brothers sang, and
we should have thought of it a long time
ago.
ago.
It was so much faster, and I felt like we got a lot better parts, and I'll do it again. I don't think we'll ever do it another way.
Again that way. And as far as the band, they've all been with us for 3.5 years. We know one another. I just think it has a good band feel. And this record, we can go out on stage and play the whole record basically if we wanted to, because we all know the songs. The guys know the songs, and we wanted to keep it simple. I guess would be the best way of explaining why we did what we did.
Songwriters and song interpreters, I read that you guys are. What's the difference between a songwriter and a song interpreter?
I think a song, obviously songwriter, you're revealing what you want, the story you want to tell. An interpreter, I think that's maybe a bigger compliment than being called a songwriter, because if you can convey what someone else is feeling, like I think Ray Charles is a great song interpreter because he could sing anything.
Yeah.
And
if you can take a good song and make it your own, I think that hopefully we can do that. Hopefully.